Hey, good evening, everybody. My name is Peter Vexelman, and I got my cohort. Is that a word? I
I don't
got.
think so.
I don't think so either. I was like, what the heck's that? And I got Julie here with me. It's Tuesday Night Live,
Hey
7
guys,
o'clock. What's that?
I just said, hey guys, I got a little bit delay on my end. And definitely want to welcome everybody. And as you're getting on, please let us know where you are. Hey, Andy, Carl, Craig, Greg, James, Mark, Marvin, Pierre, Randolph, Steve, Tara, Walter, Wayne, just to name a few. Thank you so much for taking time. Mark says cohort is a word. And I know Mark is over there in Kentucky, but you're right. He is. He said it's a word. So if Mark said it, it must be true.
See, even when I'm not good, I'm still good. Like that. Cool, cool, cool. Well, I know we got a bunch of people logging on. Very exciting times for Julie and I. Um, and what I mean are specifically these Tuesday night webinars we do. And I'll tell you why they're exciting for us because I think almost not everybody, but an overwhelming amount of people that start out as partners of ours, somewhere along the line catch us on these front end webinars, whether it's live or in a recording or something. So these are very fun for us to do because we hope we're giving value to you all, and we know these webinars give value to Julie and I back. So we appreciate it. I don't know if you could see it, but I got my door open. It's like in Atlanta, March. Somebody told me last year we were like at freezing at this point, and I mean, I'm gonna, like, after we're done here, I'm going downstairs and walking to a restaurant like in a t-shirt basically. It's like 70 degrees. Can't believe how warm it is.
I know. Just before we got on, I was actually sitting on my back porch listening to the creek, not, curled up in a blanket or anything. I mean, it was absolutely amazing, but, on the side of that, everything starts blooming. It's getting crazy here already.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, guys, listen, we appreciate you all being here. Some of you guys come on every Tuesday night, and we love you guys to pieces. Some of you guys listen to the recordings of our Tuesday nights, and we totally appreciate you guys. But some of you guys are here for the very first time, and you kind of are here trying to figure Julie and I out. You might be here trying to figure the real estate business out. You may have questions about us. You may have questions about the business. And we appreciate you guys also. We really, really do. I think the impact we try to make on Tuesday nights is to everybody, whether you catch us live, recorded, you're brand new to us, you're with us forever. However you fit into that world, we hope we give you guys value. And in the end, Julie and I try to provide two things here, I think, every Tuesday. One is for some of y'all that will never, ever, ever join us. Some of y'all kind of plug into our world. You follow us on social media. You give us sometimes some nice feedback. But you're kind of out there doing this thing yourself. You're doing deals potentially. You might be trying to do deals, but you're one of those people. And listen, I've been there. I've done that. You're kind of a lone wolf. You want to do it yourself, But at the same time, we're still helping you. We're helping you from a knowledge perspective, maybe at a confidence perspective. And so we want to give value to those of you in that position every Tuesday by just teaching you something. Teaching something that we feel like is very valuable, that we hope you feel is very valuable, that you can go out there and utilize and keep on doing what you're doing. And guys, to some of y'all, keep on doing what you're doing is simply you're not doing anything. You're just like being part of this world. And that's great. Hopefully one day when you get off, ready to actually do something, we've built enough confidence in you, enough trust in you, enough goodwill with you that when you're ready to hit it, you're going to hit it with us. And so, but the second reason Julie and I do this is because, a little bit of a selfish way, I guess. There's a purpose there's a little bit of a selfish purpose for Julie and I doing this, and that is very simple. She and I do real estate deals. I mean, that's really the core of what we do. We have an investment company.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know, maybe Julie does. We don't know how to fix cars, but we know how to fix a house. We don't know how to, flip a toaster on Amazon, but we know how to flip a house. And so we want to do more deals. And the second reason we're doing these is because we feel like that on Tuesday, we find a lot of you all, as I said before, many of you all that actually ultimately do become our partners. It starts right here in these Tuesday webinars. And for those of you that ultimately will become our partners, we feel like this is a great entry point into our world. Because here you see Julie and I, who we really are. I'm sitting at my place. Julie's sitting at her place. We're real life people.
Mm-hmm.
We're real life people doing real life. And the way we do these deals is with real life folks all over the United States. We've done deals with 21-year-old kids, with single moms, with guys living on a bare bone. We've done deals with people that when I went to visit them were picking me up in cars that couldn't even run AC. We do deals with kids in their mid-20s who are making hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars with us. We've done deals with immigrants. We've done deals with men, with women. We've done deals with people with super families, people with broken families. And that's what we do. We do deals, and we want to deals. And so that final point of why we do these is we're looking for more partners, guys. We're looking for partners across the United States that feel like the way we feel, like that real estate is your future, that you're kind of all in. This is where you are going to be. But at the same time, you realize it's not a business you kind of just want to learn at as you go. This is not a business where you want to experiment with it and just see, well, does this work? Does that work? Let me throw 20 grand this way or grand this way. Let me hire this contractor, or let me, flip a coin and hire this contractor. Let me work with that real estate agent, or let me work with my cousin real estate agent that doesn't know anything but is licensed. Some of y'all truly want to do deals, but you truly see the value of working with somebody who's got more expertise. And guys, we feel like we're those people. And we want to build confidence in you all through these webinars that we are those people. We do know what we're doing. We've been there, done that. We've made mistakes. We still make mistakes sometimes. But most importantly, we know how to overcome them. We know how to overcome challenges. And we want you all to gain confidence to raise your hand somewhere along the line and say, hey, guys, I'm in. I want to do some more real estate deals. And anytime tonight or anytime you listen to this, if you feel like I'm ready to move forward, I'm ready to do some ways of doing that. One is just simply go to our website at www.coachingbypeter.com, or you could actually even call me directly at area code 404-915-9685, because we love doing deals, and almost across the board, overwhelming majority of all the deals we do now are with partners across the United States. So, all right, That's all the pleasantries. Let's get to the topic. I think our topic for today, guys, Julie, what is our topic? Something about mistakes and overcoming them?
Yes, some mistakes, in this business, kind of overcoming them. And where I believe is one of the biggest mistakes people make when they're looking to get into this business. I know a lot of you out there has heard of like a side hustle, right? I look at a lot of people that get started in this business as a side hustle, like another way to earn income. And you don't look at this business as a business. So let me ask you a question. Let's say you want to go open up a Subway franchise, or maybe an art studio, maybe, anything like that. Would you consider that a real business? And would you put the time needed into that business to make it work? Would you set aside funds for marketing? Would you set aside funds for business development? Would you also create a business plan for your success? All answering yes. is why would anybody get into this business and not create a business plan and take the steps that it's needed to create a real actionable business? Anybody that I see getting started in this business, which I love you doing, the thing that I notice the most, overall, is that, guys, this isn't a side hustle. This, you're not, selling cookies on the side here. This is a real business, and it has to be treated as such. You need to have a business plan together. You need to dedicate time in your day to do marketing, to do cold calls, and you need to take this thing seriously. And when you start taking this business seriously, you will become successful. So to me, the first mistake I see people make is they look at this as a side hustle and not as a business, and they don't treat it as a business. And when you don't treat it as a business, you oftentimes will fail. I promise you, if you go spend money for a franchise like at a Subway or a McDonald's, do you think you're going to fail? No. Why is that? Because you've invested money into it. You believe in what you are doing, right? You've created business plans. You know exactly what you're going to do. Why would you treat this business differently? Why do you think you could just put half the effort needed to become super successful? So to me, one of the biggest issues of people getting into this business is not treating it like a business. Stop treating it like a side hustle. This is a business. And hey, and I'm up for side hustle, guys. Don't get me wrong. I'm always up for making extra money. But if you really and truly want to be successful, think of it more like, opening a franchise or starting a brick and mortar store. What are the plans and things you need to do? What money do you need to raise? What things do you need to do? And what plans do you need to have in place to get that into a real business? So that is the absolute biggest mistake I see when people are starting out in this business personally.
No, absolutely.
That's what I have for my first.
Yeah, no, that's good. I'll just piggyback a little bit off of that, and then I want to share one that I like to talk about. But I think the reason a lot of times that happens is this business has no barriers to entry. Anybody can get in it. I mean, it's kind of like buying a stock. If you got $10 or $100, you could buy stock with, zero barriers to entry. And so a lot of times, because this business has such a small barrier to entry, that you're right, Julie, people just don't take it as seriously as they need to. So I like it. I'll tell you about one of mine that mistakes people make. I think I went through this, a lot of especially beginner investors in this business, they trust too much. And that sounds weird because I hate to have this attitude that you can't be trustworthy. You can't trust people. You can't follow people's guidance or instructions. But I remember when I got in this business, and, sometimes I talk about it a lot. I mean, my gosh, I think I went through a 6-month period in this business when I got started where literally every single person that I trusted in or believed in or took them at face value, I mean, they literally just took me for something, and I think in this business, the thing about this business is that no matter where you are in this business, whether you're just brand new getting started, whether you've done a bunch of deals or whether you're at levels like this, it's a people-driven business, whereas, if you're going to make a lemonade stand, well, you go build your own lemonade stand, you buy your own lemons. I mean, you're kind of in control there all the way through. In this business, you really are not. It's very hard to do a real estate deal being totally 100% in control, And so what happens when you get in this business? Well, you got to find the property. What's the common place most people want to find a property in the beginning, especially a beginner? Well, they're going to call a real estate agent. I mean, that's just, even though we know that is like the worst place to find a real estate deal, but that's where the brand new people tend to go. Well, remember, how does a real estate agent make money? Do they make money by giving you advice and by not selling you a piece of property? Or do they make money by actually selling you a piece of property? Of course, they make their commission on selling a piece of property. All right. So if you think about it, almost everybody in this business, in a weird way, you start out with an adversarial position. It doesn't look like it. It's not plainly said, but it really is. I mean, a realtor, you're brand new, you're calling 2 or 3 realtors. You're like, hey, I want to buy an investment property. A realtor is not going to say, well, don't buy an investment property. I mean, go study some more or go find a partner. What's a real estate agent going to say? Oh, yeah, I could help you. Absolutely. Do you have the money to buy it? Yeah, no question, I could help you, right? Because they make money off selling stuff. They make money off commission. So right away, you're calling somebody from a perspective of getting help from them. But the reality is the dynamics of that position from there, it's not from their standpoint. And I know there's some good realtors, don't take me, I'm just kind of giving you some common mistakes. But from their perspective is they're looking at you as a commission check. They really are. And I mean, commissions in this business could be big. I mean, realtor could make as much as 3% on the deal. You sell a $100,000 or $200,000 house, that's $6,000 or $7,000, $1,000. That's a lot of money. And, so a lot of investors automatically think, I mean, this is what I used to think. I got in this business, I was go. I was calling these realtors. I'm like, hey, I want to buy a property. And see, what I was thinking, they were looking at me as a long-term client. I was like, well, my goal is to be in this thing for the next 30 years. So, this is what I was thinking to myself. My goal is to be in this thing for the next 20, 30 years. This agent is going to look at me from perspective, so they're not going to mislead me. But an agent would think they're looking at me as a typical newbie. They know that a typical newbie does like one deal, that's the rat industry average, because that average first deal usually knocks them out. So they weren't looking at me as a 20-year guy. They were looking at me as a one-deal wonder. And in their eyes, it was either I sell Vexelman that property and make the commission, or some other realtor. And so from day one, we were looking at our relationship from a very, and guys, this, for those of you that are involved in relationships, if you're looking at your partner from a wrong perspective, not from the same perspective as you're looking at them, as they're looking at you, you're going to be in trouble. So every realtor back then, I worked with about 4 or 5 of them, 100% of them made money off of me and 100% of them misled me. See, back then, I was misled by contractors. How does a contractor look at me? Again, as a one-hit wonder, inexperienced. And when you're dealing with a brand new schlep like me, it's easy. It's easy. Because what does a brand new schlep like me look at? One thing, price. That's all I cared about. I didn't know how to evaluate a contractor, but I do know how to read a bottom line. And guess what? It's easy for them to outbid someone, right? A sophisticated contractor knows, okay, this is a newbie. He's got a loan, so we know the money's there. Now I'll just tell him I could fix it for 20 grand when I know it's going to be 40. Because once I get in there, so again, they were smarter than me. They were smarter than me. So again, I looked at him like he's going to be thinking I'm going to give him 100 jobs. He looked at me, this guy's not going to be around past 1 job, so I better gobble everything I can out of him, right? I mean, so all the way in the process of real estate, marketing, negotiating, finding deals, selling deals, contracts, like contracting, fixing up, rehabs, closings, every single one of those things is tied into people. And so my number one mistake that I'm bringing up today is the trust level. You can't be gullible in this business. You just cannot be gullible. So the way you have to overcome it is you got to be smarter. You got to be smarter than the guy. You got to be smarter than the gal. Okay, so when that realtor tells you, hey, buy that house on 123 Main Street, sure, I'm going to have that realtor justify why. But the way to be really smart is have 3 other outside agents justify that that's the right price. Mm-hmm. If you're about ready to go on a hook on a loan for $100,000, that's a lot of money, by the way. Spend $300, get an appraisal done. That's how you justify the realtors giving you the right information. You get outside resources. When when you're in the beginning and that contractor is like, comes in at 30 and everybody's at 50, okay, have him justify it. Check him out. Ask for references. Go look at 4 or 5 other jobs he's currently doing. If he's mysteriously not doing anything, that tells you something. Okay? If he can't give you a legitimate reference that you can call and talk to, that tells you something. Write up a contractor that puts penalties in it, meaning puts budgets and timelines. Okay, if you're telling me you could do it for 30, it's 30. And if it's 31, it's on you. You're telling me you could do it in 4 weeks, do it in 4 weeks. And if it's in 5 weeks, we're going to do a penalty. Okay? So the way you overcome, in my opinion, the trust issue in the beginning, you verify. You trust, but verify. Verify everything. A value is given to you, verified by someone else. A scope of work is given to you, verified by just someone else. Check, double check, triple check, and quadruple check. And I will tell you, before I turn this back over, at our level, 20 years into this business, guys, like if anybody who should probably figure it out by now, it's me. We still check. And as a matter of fact, I don't know if I have this. So I was just texting with Laura at our office about a deal we're doing with one of our partners. And we have, because of this deal, we have 6 different checkpoints. Like we're verifying one number 6 different ways. And that's after doing something for 20 years. So if we got to do it for after 20 years. If you're a beginner and you're on that first or second deal and you're doing it yourself, check, double check, triple check, and then check one more time. So that's mine, Julie.
Well, my last thing, that I'm going to talk about tonight, and we could probably go over about 1,000, is stop chasing shiny objects. Okay. And what do I mean by objects? When you start learning how to find deals, right? And when I tell you, okay, it's easy enough, to do for dollars and cold call. It's easy enough to, maybe possibly send mailers, to set up Facebook campaigns, you start to realize how much hard work that is, right? So then what you start to do is you start to chase shiny objects. And what are the shiny objects? Other wholesalers' deals and MLS deals. You feel like you are going to shortcut the learning curve by skipping all of the hard work and finding deals on the MLS. So I can tell you right now, guys, the economy is so good right now. If you think you're going to find a great deal on MLS, right, you're just not going to. They're gone before you can get there. And then you end up spending days, weeks, months, and years go by of contracts that fell through, contracts that weren't getting started, and you're not getting anywhere. Or you could be in the situation like Peter was talking about earlier, and you're so excited to do a deal that you choose to buy a bad deal, okay? Just because you get excited about it doesn't mean you need to go through with it. So if I could say anything to you is you've got to stop chasing shiny objects. Even though new technologies come out in this field, the good old way to do it is still the way that you get and find deals with direct. It's going to shortcut that process. So when you're getting started, I really need you to understand that nothing replaces hard work. And it seems like hard work, but in all honesty, once you get good at it, it becomes a lot of fun. I mean, I find it to be a lot of fun to talk to sellers and go to appointments and get my marketing together. That's my favorite part of the business now. And you want to know why? Because that's made us so much money. The thing I used to hate became my favorite thing to do. So like Steve says, oh, pretty, right, just stop chasing shiny objects. And that's kind of what I have for my second mistake. I mean, and I know a way to kind of overcome a lot of these mistakes, okay? The same reason why whenever I want to learn something new, I hire somebody that's better at it than I am so that I can overcome mistakes and issues, and I don't have to learn it for myself. One way to overcome these mistakes is actually working with Peter and I. And one cool thing that I would like to announce when you're working with us is now every day, Monday through Friday, twice a day, we do live conference calls with our clients so that we are able to answer any question that you might have. We wanted to make ourselves more available to you so that you become more successful. It doesn't excite me whenever it's for somebody to not do a deal. We want you to do a deal. We want to be there for you 100% of the way. So, I guess that's another thing, start working with Peter and I. We will not let you have the same pitfalls if we can help it that maybe we went through. Some of the things that I teach people, even about the rehabs, the reason why I know these things is because I've already messed up. That's how I know it. I've already went through it. I've already made those mistakes before. And I don't want to see you do the same thing either.
That's good stuff. Good stuff. I'll tell you another pitfall that I see people make, and this one's a big one. This is, I think, a controversial one because there is a lot of people in this business make a lot of money living off the premise that you need absolutely no money in this business. Now, technically speaking, there are things that you can do in this business if you're at, now we're talking about doing this by yourself. There are some things that you can do in this business that require no money, okay? But my philosophy is very simple. It is far, far better, far, far easier to have money in this business than not to have money. Now, you could just look at that as a general statement. Well, gosh, Pete, you could say that about anything. Yeah, I know, but I'm talking about specifically this business. That, for instance, people say, well, gosh, Pete, I can go out there and I could wholesale a property without money. You can, absolutely. But I will tell you, probably most people that in this business that are successful, like across the board, they have money. I mean, how many people do you know in this business that truly have no money and are doing deals, if you think about it? I don't know any. I know plenty of people trying to do it who are broke. I know plenty of people, and again, we're talking about if you're going to do this yourself. I know plenty of people attempting to do this business without any money. But see, what money does is that it creates an advantage to you. No matter what strategy you're doing. No matter what strategy you're doing. Let's talk about some specifics, okay? Let's say a wholesale deal, right? So people say, well, Pete, I can go out there and I can wholesale a property with no money. Technically, yes. But let me tell you what I can do on a wholesale side with money that you can't do on a wholesale side with money. For instance, I could see a property. We could see a property together. Let's say that needs to be wholesale, right? We put under contract. We give ourselves 15, 30 days, whatever it is we give ourselves. And let's say it's a wholesalable deal, right? Let's say there's no question there's 5, 10, 20, 30,000 to be made in that deal. You're without money. I'm with money. Let's say somebody even ties this let's say somebody puts under contract with you. Like within one day, you get under contract. Next day, somebody else is under contract. You're making $20,000. You're tooting along. And all of a sudden, 3 days before closing, the whole thing explodes. Money falls through. They change their mind. They're not who they tell you they are. 30 different ways a deal could fall apart. Remember, it's still a legit deal, right? I got money. What do? I show up at closing, plop my money down, buy that property, buy myself more time, and execute that deal with another seller. Another buyer. You with no money, you got one shot. See, what happens when you have no money, even on a wholesale deals, you tremendously limit yourselves. It's almost like that deal has to be perfectly executed. And if you have no money, that also tells me you probably haven't been doing this for a while. So that, guess what else you probably don't have? A lot of buyers. You might be living off 1 or 2 buyers. And so, now you have to like literally thread the needle. You have to make sure that one or two buyers buys the property. You have to make sure that one or two buyers close on the property. And so now the stars have to line up here, 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 here. And if they do, great, you make your money. But if not, you're out. Whereas I, with money, take that same wholesale deal, I buy it, close on it, put it back in the market, and make my 15, 20,000, a little bit less because I had to absorb closing costs, and I make my money that way, right? Here's another reason why if I have money, I could make more money actually on my wholesale deals, and we'll do more deals. See, if I have money, I have the ability to market that property in a way that you can't. For instance, by me having money, I could utilize things like the MLS service and other services to market that property because I can close on that property. I have the ability to bring money to the table. You, on the other hand, can't, which means you cannot use some of these very powerful tools out there to market, because when you use some of these extremely powerful tools, they don't let you do things like assign your deals, which means you have to close on it. So even at the very basic premise of like wholesale, where everyone talks about no money, no money, no money, I, as a guy with money, will make more money as a wholesaler, and will do more deals as a wholesaler, and will become more profitable as a wholesaler by simply having money. Now, and that's just if we like pigeonhole everything into the wholesale side. This whole thing that you don't need money to do real estate. Tell me one other strategy that you could use in this business without money to make money. I don't know of any. Now, and I'm not talking about these frou-frou things about, well, I could do a wrap, or I could pay down their more, or I could take over their payments. Let me tell you something, guys. Everybody talks about those strategies, but how many people do you actually know that are doing those? Like, I got one friend in the nation, his name is Joe, who actually does those strategies, but he's full-time, balls to the wall, all in. That's all he does, and he does have a pretty big business doing these kind of funky strategies. I don't know anybody else that does. I know plenty of people wanting to do them because, again, they seem to be no money kind of deals. Well, let me tell you something, guys. If you get money and you start taking over people's payments and you're trying to put other tenants in there, and all of a sudden your tenant moves out, and now you got a mortgage payment due for $1,000, insurance and taxes, and you got no money, and you let that loan go into default, and it's a third-party loan, that's not a position you want to be in. So those deals really you shouldn't be doing without money. Can you do a fix and flip without money? No way. People come to me all the time and say, gosh, Pete, why would I want to partner with you when you're providing all the money? I went on the internet and I saw this hard money lender that says they do 100% financing. BS is what I say to that. There's no one from a lending perspective I know. And if you know somebody, I'd like to know who they are, like a legitimate third-party source that has 100% financing. So if you got no money and you want to do a fix and flip, by the way, if you want to do a fix and flip, you have money, you better have more money than you have. Like some people do a fix and flip, they borrow hard money, and they have $10,000 or $20,000 in their pocket or in the bank. That is no way can you do a deal like that. No way. Because one, you're going to need 10 to 20% down easily. Right now, across the board, across the nation, it's more like 20 to 30% when you count for the points you got to pay down, pay close costs, lender fees, closing fees. You better have 20 to 30% down. Then who's going to carry that rehab? Now, you might have that rehab escrowed in your lender's account, but do you think they're just going to front it to you all the time? You think when your contractor, calls you and says, hey, I want to start with 20% down, you're then going to call your lender, hard money lender, to say, hey, I need 20% down? That's a call you never want to make, because that right away throws off all the red flags there. So you're going to have to basically carry that whole rehab job. So when he wants 20 to get started, you're going to have to dish out 20 grand to get started. And when he's done with that 20, you're going to get reimbursed. So you better have about 20% down and then easily about 50% of that construction budget in hand. You could never do a fix and flip with no money. You want to do rental properties with no money down, 10 to 20% down, and any kind of financing on rental properties. So this big myth that we see in this business about people talking about, You don't have to have money. Guys, there's so many things that require money in this business. Marketing. I mean, even a little bandit sign. You're gonna have to put a couple $100 in the bandit signs. What are you gonna do? You're gonna buy one bandit sign and just like reuse it all over the city? Can't do that. You want to do direct mail, and people said, "Well, I got a $50 budget. I think I'm gonna put it all towards direct mail." I'm like, "Good luck, dude." No, just even things that aren't tied into the deal itself require money. You want to hire someone to help you? That's going to require money, some kind of money, right? So I think this is big, big, big myth that real estate is a no money down business. No money down doesn't mean that no money. That's long time ago in the 70s kind of a thing that people used to do to sell stuff, and it just kind of carried itself on. So my big myth is that this business does require money. If you're going to go at it yourself and you're broke and you can't figure out how to make next month's mortgage payment and you're a paycheck to paycheck type of an individual, real estate is not a business for you. This is a business that you're going to have money. You're going to have, even at my level, I've made pretty decent money. You know how much money I have out there all the time? Ungodly amount of money. You talk to guys even bigger than me, $100, $200 million developers. I've talked to some of them. There's times they run their coffers down to like $200,000, $300,000. To some of you, that sounds like a lot. I promise you. You're building a subdivision with 60 houses and you got $200,000 in your checking account, you're screwed. Like you're just begging for something to happen, like something good to happen. Okay. So you definitely need money. So that's my next one. Julie, you got any other ones? Or are you mistaked it out?
I'm not mistaked out, but I definitely, would like to learn how these mistakes, from you, how you can overcome those, and kind of get to the next level for these people, out there that don't have, money. Kind of like, Peter, whenever I got started with you, when I got started, in your coaching program, I didn't really have two pennies to rub together neither, so, let me know what you think, someone could do in that situation to become successful.
Well, guys, you knew we would somehow bring this to a crescendo, didn't you? Now, the first thing is, guys, I don't think anyone listening to us tonight could argue against us on any of these fallacies and any of these things, whether it's chasing shiny objects or putting your trust in the wrong people or being flat out broke, or, whatever it is we discussed today. I mean, these are like, if you're listening to us, every single one of those be like, yep, makes sense. Or some of you are like, oh yeah, that's kind of me. I've trusted that guy and this guy and he screwed me and that guy screwed me and all this. So I think one thing is, I hope we're all in agreement tonight, but I will tell you that the ultimate thing, like the one common thing to overcome all of these, like you can have money, but that will not overcome not being able to trust somebody. Like you can come in this business with $1 million, but that doesn't mean you're going to be savvy enough to know when a realtor is trying to mess you up, right? You could stay focused, like Julie said, not chase shiny objects, but doesn't mean you know where to stay focused on. So you can have each one of these in themselves somewhat fixed, but how do you fix all of these across the board? And I will tell you, and I learned this 20 years ago because I've been it, done it, made all the mistakes, lived it, whatever. You got to work with somebody who knows what they're doing. That comes down to. I mean, the only way you overcome doing the wrong thing at the wrong time, chasing, hiring the wrong realtor, not having any money, trust, blah, 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 blah. The only way you overcome that, got to have somebody you trust on your side. Somebody that knows what they're doing. Somebody who's got the money. Somebody who's chased the shiny objects of realtors. Somebody who's been broke before. Someone who has been screwed by a realtor before. But somebody who's persevered. Can any of you think of any other ways of doing it? There's really two options. One option is you do it all yourself. You kind of like, you know what? I know, Pete, that I can't trust from everyone, but I'm going to overcome that. I'm just going to get screwed by about 20 people, and after I get screwed by 20 people, I'm going to get good. Okay, yeah, that's one way of doing it. Or like, yeah, Pete, I know I'm always chasing shiny objects, but, sooner or later I'll figure it out. Okay, I get it. Pete, I know I'm broke now, but my rich uncle is dying, and when he dies, I'm going to have some money. Okay, I got it. So that's one way of doing it. You could literally bully your way through this business. It's very costly. That's what I did. Lost a lot of money, lost a lot of confidence, lost a lot of self-esteem, lost a lot of time, but I did it. Would I do it again? Not if I knew what I know now. And so the ultimate answer to what we're talking about, guys, is you got to be aligned with somebody that knows what they're doing. That's really the bottom line. And if you ask us who it is, Julie and I will both raise our hands because we feel like that's us. Not just strictly from a perspective of that being us, but perspective we want it to be us. Because we know if we help you in our partnering program, we in essence help ourselves. And then now, guys, I want to make a really cool announcement tonight. We just introduced some really, really cool things into our partnering program. Like, for instance, I know there's some people that are listening to us. They're like, well, Pete, I can't maybe afford to get started with you. Or, Pete, I still need some capital once I start with you because, like, I know you provide us these leads, but I want these leads, Or, Pete, I just need some breathing room with some capital to make it through. So the cool big announcement that we're making tonight is now we have aligned ourselves with some seed capital for our partners. You got it. That's exactly right. So now when you're one of our partners, you have the ability through us to pick up some seed capital, 50,000, 6,000, 40,000, 100,000. Now we want you to be smart with it. We want you to apply it towards doing the things we're going to do. This is not the kind of money we want you to use to buy TVs and Corvettes. That's not what seed capital is about. This is working capital. This is a way to get entry into our world. This is a way to maybe do some things on top of what we're doing for you. This is a way for you to invest. But now that we have that available, guys, we feel like it's a new day here with us because we feel like now we've totally eliminated all the excuses for some people, for some of y'all that have been wanting to be with us. But you're like, Pete, I'm limited. I can't get that barrier into your world financially or something like that. Now you can. Because we now literally have a seed cap available to you all for those of you that qualify. And it's not a crazy qualifying process, but for those of you that qualify, we'll be able to secure tens upon tens of thousands of dollars for you. So anyway, guys, for those of you that are like, God, I wanted to partner with them, but I couldn't get in the door financially. Boom, done deal. Questions answered. So, guys, for those of you that do want to partner with us, and when you're partnering with us, we do a lot of marketing for you. We provide our money to buy the properties. We utilize our money to fix them. We utilize our tool project done, and then we sell them and we split the price right down the middle, 50-50. For those of you that want to be part of our partner-driven coaching program, because that is exactly what we do with individuals across the United States, and now we are able to provide seed capital to them, then you need to either go to www.coachingbypeter.com and fill out some information there, and we'll touch base with you, or you can call me directly for those of you that are ready to get rolling at area code 404-915-9685. Guys, there's some mistakes that a lot of people make. We hope we shed some light on a number of them tonight, but we also feel like we've given you a good, logical, valid answer of how to overcome them. So that's all I got, Julie. Anything else from your end?
No, but I'm really so glad, and I know we've been working hard on this for a couple of months to find just the right partners, for this seed capital. And by the way, we met with the hierarchies of this company to make sure that they were right for you. The thing that I'm the most excited about, if you can remember at the very beginning of this call, I made mention of the fact that you don't treat this like a franchise and you don't treat this like a business. By the way, you go get a franchise or you go get a business, you're getting a business loan, okay? This is another way to secure funding for your business so that you have money in marketing. So one cool thing about this is that if you know, like right now, if you're doing some of these, let's say boots on the ground type deal to try to come up with a deal, what money does is quickens your experience, right? So if, you know, I'm telling you to cold call, which is free, but then you don't necessarily, you know, you work 10 hours a day. But if I go tell you to do direct mail, which I know will get you some more income and more calls coming in, that may be better for you. So all I'm saying is I'm super, super excited that Peter's been able to bring in the seed capital funds to help you with your business and accelerate your success. Because that is one way to make success go a little bit quicker is put a little bit more money into the fuel of the fire of your marketing budget, you know, and I'm all about that. So thank you guys. Thank you for being on, for listening to us tonight. And listen, whatever you do, just go to coachingbypeter.com. It's easy. Fill it out and see what we have to talk about. If you like it, wonderful. We can't wait to partner with you. If you hate it, bye. It's cool. You know what I mean? It's either right for you or it's not. But I know my goal personally is for you to become successful no matter what. I want this business to change your life like it changed mine. And I hope all of you have a good evening.
Good night, everybody.